There we should go. Hey, that's better. Now my cameras aren't glitching all over the place. Excellent. Alright, hello and welcome to anyone when they get here or when you start to see this stream. This is live stream 4, I guess, of me painting my Custodes, provided by Roddy's Creations. Thanks, bud. Oh, by the way, I've got to throw up his Kickstarter in the comments, I guess, down below. He is expanding his cosplay shop and game shop to include an escape room, which is super awesome. I am ultra happy for him. So I'm going to link that down below. I hope everyone is having a great evening, great week. It has been absolutely busy as all heck here. So for this one, there's going to be I know during most of these live streams, most of the painters, they drink or whatever when they chat. I don't drink, so I got myself some gummies. We're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna be lit. Oh, I just need to go back over here, refresh this. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good time. And I'd like to see what it is that. All right. I am just seeing up on this if everything's all good. Hopefully the chat is working. Let me know if the volume needs to be adjusted in any way, shape, or form. And let's just have a great time. I guess I should get started painting. My day's been going good so far. Busy, but good. It's about to get a whole lot better in an hour or two. Between some coffee and coffee energy shot, I should be golden shortly. Plus some of these delightful little fellas. Gummies. Alright. I am going to continue on painting these. I want to darken up the gold on everything before I start to do high gold trim. Realistically, I should be editing the video I just shot last week. Haven't had much time to do that. But don't get everything we want. I think it's going to be a fantastic video myself. It's going to be absolutely nuts because it's Warhammer versus, well, everybody. I picked a dozen or so of the most insane universes in literature that don't really have a whole lot of multimedia representation as much as, say, Warhammer does, and pitted them up against them. There are a few exceptions, but for the most part, it should be a good time. My poor boy's downstairs teething. He's not having a good time. Oh, snap. Apparently I've been 3 years on YouTube this year. Or this month. Intense. That is awesome. I should stop getting distracted and get my ass to painting. Let's thin that up a bit. Getting paint on my hand as per usual. Uh, both of them are designed actually fairly well. Like, I've got nothing against the Pelican. The Pelican's a competent ship, a heck of a drop ship, and pretty versatile overall. The Valkyrie's great as a mass-produced, like, Astra Militarum troop carrier. I had to make sure to adjust my cameras so you couldn't see all like in great detail the analog Excel spreadsheet behind me where I've been working on the products for the next video. Let's see, what kind of brush am I gonna need for this? That looks pretty good. Use one of these. I don't even know what 6 filbert. Got a feeling that's wildly wrong, but what do I know? I'm just some dude on the internet. Hey, Comic Safe. Handhunt in the Discord chat room. These ones are bought. This one is 3D printed. My Grey Knights are all technically bought. A couple of my Ultramarines are 3D printed. Half of them are bought. Uh, Honestly, I don't. It all depends, like what's available, because it takes forever for stuff to get mailed to me from a lot of places because I'm in a fairly remote location. So I'm limited to what I can buy. You know, I've usually got to stick with what's in the local store, or I buy it off my friend's store and get him to ship it out to me, but that takes a couple of days. Oh, I just made a mess of that. Because he lives a couple provinces over from me. He lives over in Alberta. I'm stuck here in way northern Ontario. Yeah, these Custodes, though, these are 100% paid for. Did not mind paying for these at all. I've always wanted to do a Custodes army. It's just up until the most recent edition, when they got the recent buffs, it wasn't worth getting them just for the small amount of, well, kill teams that you could play with them. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. This is where I am going to probably piss everyone off. But dropping off tanks, main battle tanks, from the back of dropships is a monumentally stupid fucking idea, and I absolutely hate that Halo did it. You should have dedicated dropships for armored vehicles, because when you start mixing them together, like the thing is like the Scorpion main battle tank is allegedly 60 tons. So 60 tons hanging all off the gun and gun mantle, and the your your freaking gimbals for traversing and elevating and depressing the turret is a monumentally stupid idea. Like, there's very few franchises that like serious franchises that do that. The exceptions being the Bolo universe, Hammer Slammers, stuff like that. But they have dedicated armored drop pods. Like in the Bolo universe, the dedicated drop pods, well, pretty much the size of a city block for starters. God, I spent too much time glazing the Bolo verse. But no, like when you start swinging a tank around like it does off the back of like off of a troop carrier, like by its gun, you're gonna wreck all the very sensitive sensors that are in that turret to make those one-hit kills that go to only that one interface inside the driver's hole. The main thing I don't like about Star Wars is the lack of consistency in technology. Like, I get that they're trying to make everything look, you know, like in that time period from World War II to like the end of the colonial period, like in the early 1910s. Like, especially with a lot of like the blasters and firearms and whatnot that they all have. Even like some like I guess it's because I'm not a big spaghetti western guy either, and like it's just a almost like an instinct. Like when I look at the combat in Star Wars, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. How has anyone with any competence not, you know, conquered this absolute ludicrously stupid galaxy whose only saving grace is a bunch of space wizards, which are either too busy kidnapping children or fighting with their dark space wizards? Like, pick a fucking struggle. That and I really hate the fucking Jedi because they are evil incarnate and they don't even know it. Like the whole kidnapping kids thing and then mind wiping their parents if they resisted. Like that's pretty effing dark in my book. You know, whether they were special or not. At least during the prequel trilogy, as much as everyone shits on it, George Lucas made an effort to try and make the combat make a lot more sense, especially with the advances in technology he had for CGI. While at the same time trying to maintain some of the aesthetics so you can see the technological progression. But like it's the same thing that the problem I had with the JJ verse for Star Trek is you really can't capture the technological progression using our modern technology, if you get what I mean, on screen because it just looks off. Like compared to like the old school 60s and 70s charm of Star Trek, the original series, and then the JJ verse, which is supposed to be at the same time, but everything is 50 times more advanced. It just, to me, it's kind of rough and annoying because it's like, why fuck with a good thing? Like, you've already got something that everyone's wildly devoted to. Like, people are either going to like it or they're not. You're not going to capture any new, really any new fans, I guess you could say it were, because most of Star Trek's fans come from the television series and they want to see movies based off of those television series, not, you know, a whole new reimagining, you know. Although won't lie, I really did like Carl Urban in the JJ versus Bones. He just, that man could play anything, especially Dread. He kicked ass in Dread. Oh man, this is darkening up real nice. I am getting a lot of it on the goddamn skirts though. Oh, or tabard. Gotta stop calling my manly Custodes that. Well, those are drying. I gotta paint some more shoulder armor pieces and leg armor pieces. So I hope everyone is having a good week. Relatively speaking. Don't know if everyone's work week is over or if everyone's got the same weekends. Not all of us do. I know I certainly didn't back in the good old day. And then of course I fucked up today getting out of the shower. I was trimming my beard, fucked up, and gouged a big chunk out of it. So now I got to grow it out all over again. Let's see. Someone did the math, and each space marine costs 7.6 trillion. That is that in today dollars or like dollars now? Hmm. Let's see. What's that say? Space Marines are practically combined arms. They need artillery and air support. No, in today dollars. Yeah, you know what? That wouldn't shock me if that was American healthcare costs. Christ, you go there for a broken arm and it cost you your house. Gotta imagine what it cost to get, 16 new organs implanted plus all the armor to go with it. But the Space Marines just aren't their own combined arms faction. They're special forces in the truest sense of the word. They can work well with combined arms, but outside of the Legion themselves, they've been broken down into like almost a battalion strength. Um, like if you had to compare them to something today, you could compare them to say the 75th Marine or the 75th Ranger Regiment. You know, a large group of special forces soldiers. How much they cost if you didn't remove the gold standards? Uh, you don't want to remove the gold standard because then you get situations like I don't know if you recall um, early on in the global war on terror, because they were all volunteer armies. They were having to do what's called morality waivers for some recruits, and that meant like waiving like if they had gang connections or anything else, or had felonies or misdemeanors or something to that extent. Like basically, if they didn't have a clean record, which is usually required to get into the military, or at least a pardon. Now, before that, there was this cockwomble in charge of the U.S. military as Secretary of Defense during the Vietnam War called Robert McNamara. Now, this particular douche canoe was having problems, uh, again, meeting recruitment numbers. So, what they did is they recruited, for lack of better words, those on the much lower end of the bell curve. No, no. As much as, the branches will joke with each other about crayon eatings and the memes, we all know it's all in jest and good fun. Like shit, you know how many times a year I get called a gravy chugging fat ass tanker? Yeah, the McNamara Project, colloquially called McNamara's Morons. Well, yeah, but then again, if the primary, like, if the primary component of your race was approximately 4 feet tall and on the average and 60 kilos soaking wet in its armor, you're gonna want to fight as far distance as possible because mass matters in a fist fight. You know, I'm 5'10", 210 pounds, and if someone who's say 6'5", 340 or something like that wants to go toe to toe with me, I'm probably gonna back off because no matter how well I can fight, if this guy lands on me, um, I'm not walking away without a significant amount of injury. Especially at my age, I'll throw my back out. So yeah, like you always want to try to augment your physical weaknesses in combat. If you're small and tiny and blue and you've got a vagina on your face, you're probably going to want to fight from a mile away where the enemy can't see you and make fun of you. That one's starting to wear out. I better get that on the charger later. Oh, yeah. Blue raspberry goodness. Oh, shoot. Oh, damn. Oh, that was a dirty pull. So, how many of you in the chat are Like, have your own Warhammer armies or play tabletop games. And I don't mean you got to play like, professionally. You go to tournaments. You just got small armies, or you play among friends. Occasionally go down to the local game store. That sort of thing. Higher ups want more cannon fodder than making survivability. Mm, you'll never see exoskeletons on the battlefield for quite a few generations yet. The biggest problem is batteries. Like batteries themselves. Like, all right, case in point. During again the global war on terror, we had electronic countermeasures that we had to carry around in backpacks, and the batteries for just this for 4 hours of use was like a good solid two almost like small car batteries. And how much melee happens now on the battlefield? Um, During my time on the battlefield, not really. Like, that was the exception, not the rule. Most of the fighting was done from distance, mostly because it was either flat open terrain with a lot of cover in grape fields and grape huts, or the mud huts or walls of compounds, or you were up in the mountains and you were watching from 360 degrees, hoping that they didn't decide to drop the whole valley on you. From what I understand, melee combat's a little bit more common in some of the battlefields right now, um, in Africa and Ukraine. From what I've seen of some of those trench cams, they get pretty close and dirty. I'd love to be on the server more. I really would. Uh, Having 3 kids has taken the shit kicking out of me for time. They're comic safe, bud. Like, I really wish I could be around a lot more. And who knows, if I keep getting subscribers like I do, I might wind up going full time. Yeah, that was the whole reason during GWAT, um, that we wanted to fight from distance, because of the potential for a lot of suicide bombers, suicide vest, vehicle borne, a lot of IEDs. Me personally, I didn't get smacked in any vehicles myself. I was always one ahead or one behind. You're right. Drone warfare is becoming the norm. Uh, but the thing is with drones is there's always still going to need to be boots on the ground, because you can't hold ground with a drone. And they're working on a lot of counter drone technology right now too. So it's going to be that's going to be the new, I think the new tank race is the new drone counter drone race. Greater good. Oh, should I paint a couple? Do I want to paint the helmets yet? No. I do need to paint some arms though, and I need to paint some. Yeah, I guess we're gonna be. Let's just move that camera a little bit more over here, so you can see this, see my painting a little better. Guess I'm gonna have to paint an arm or two here. Gotta start assembling arms now that I've got base coats all over everything. Making a mess, making a mess. I paint like a toddler. Oh, Lord. Here's the thing. Um, I give them a lot of the benefit of the doubt because they only know what they have been told to them, or more often than not, just their own preconceived notions of what they think is going on. So I've learned to give a lot more leeway because a lot of them don't know that. Um, like for a lot of years, we didn't understand the cultural differences, about a lot of the hand signs that we were using with them, despite what the intel community was trying to tell us and brief us. A lot of that didn't work in the beginning, and it took us a while to figure it the F out. But the big thing that was getting us was Afghan National Army and police vehicles kept, like their Ford Rangers kept getting stolen by the insurgents. And most of the time, they never cleaned these vehicles, so you could barely see what number would be written on the hood. So you'd be trying to identify it, and they'd be getting close. And if they get within inside a certain perimeter, like a certain distance, you have standing orders to engage because, you know, that is like the minimum safe distance for an explosive force over a certain amount. And it's going to be certainly probably a lot bigger if it is, because you can pack a lot of shit in the back of a goddamn pickup truck. Just ask freaking, oh, what was that Oklahoma Bombers guy? I can't remember. Fuck him anyway. Uh, what if a Bolo learned Dragon Ball? I have no idea. The biology of Star Wars creatures. Uh, the biology of Star Wars creatures. Honestly, um, not bad for the most part. Uh, Overall, same problem as Star Trek. A lot of them are just humans with a little bit of extra makeup and, you know, either four sets of foam titties and tentacles on their head, or God knows what else. Like for the most part, I enjoy the creativity, but um, oh, they almost don't look. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not real, because I know they're not obviously not real. But you ever notice how they look almost too clean, almost like video game characters, like you're looking at a video game cutscene a lot of the times. Like I don't know what it is about some of their CGI animation, but it's very immersion breaking. Like I don't know if I'm just too much of a sucker for practical effects, which honestly wouldn't surprise me because I freaking love practical effects movies. Freaking uh, 80s canon and PM entertainment. That's my jam. Those were the glory days. Honestly, I don't know enough about Dragon Ball to answer that question. If I did, I'd be able to answer it, but I do not know enough about the Dragon Ball Z universe. Most of that stuff started really getting popular around when I was in high school, and I was too busy being a teenage boy in high school to spend too much time inside watching TV. Uh, Basically, I was in my mall rat era. Me and my friends, basically we'd go hang out at the freaking Eastgate Mall or up on the mountain. Go hang out at Lime Ridge Mall for afternoons until closing time, and then wind up taking buses home and getting back to our houses by 10, 11 at night. Towers of Race are fun. Um, it it gives them a little bit more leeway, and it's also interesting to see because the Tau is supposed to be an analog for like a proto federation. Power from the soul. So basically, Bolo can't learn something the soul can use. Uh, Curious philosophical argument. Um, really wouldn't know where to begin. Most of the lore really deals with whether or not machines do have souls. And by the end of most of the books, you feel like they wind up do having souls. Especially a lot of the later models, especially the Mark 34s and the Mark 33s. I know I'm probably committing some kind of blasphemy by freaking painting these things inside the sprues still, but I'm too inebriated at the moment to trust myself with these things on my tweezers or my little wax stand because I would probably knock that shit right the F over and I'd scatter my parts everywhere. Let's face it, I know I would scatter my parts everywhere because I can be a clumsy, clumsy bitch. Oh, yeah, get that gold in there. Better watch how much gold I put on this. Some Ferengi's gonna come by and claim dibs. Ooh, dibs, dibs, dibs. Oh, that's the one without the hand that I'm gonna need for later. That's probably the one that's supposed to go on. Yeah, that's my shield captain's hand. All right, I found it. Reminds me of the Japan culture. Take care of your stuff, and they basically grow in a soul. Tau using Gundams and Warhammer. You know what? They say Gundams, but here's the thing, and just bear with me. Mechs tend to follow mechanized walkers or like walker suits tend to follow the same mechanical design as the biological design of the creator species. So us, we wouldn't have mechs with digitigrade legs with knees that face backwards, whereas the Tau, who have hooves and digitigrade two joint knees, are gonna have like mech walkers like that. How to change the Star Destroyer? Everywhere where you would put the guns. The guns are absolutely stupidly mounted on a Star Destroyer. You have a low profile thing and you've got zero goddamn dorsal coverage. Like, you've got a giant ram meat target in the middle of your ship, and the shit thrusters on them. Like, you need better, stronger thrusters for something that big. Because these things have been rammed so many times. Oh, Star Destroyers. Our ships are giant wedges of cheese. Fuck. Oh, best thing frickin' Seth MacFarlane ever did was that Blue Harvest frickin' Star Wars trilogy. I love you. Fuck you. Oh, good times. Star Destroyers. You know what? Like, they put all the big guns on top. Now, that only makes sense if you're constantly going to be either diving or climbing towards your target. Oh, cheese is freaking delicious. I freaking love cheese. And I'm lactose intolerant. Like, dairy is too delicious to give up. Which is why there's cream in my coffee, and I'm about to drink that milk-filled frickin' energy drink there. Because my intestines are a sucker for punishment. Oh man, good times. Yeah, okay, I need to add more thinner to this. This is starting to clump. Alright, need a little bit more thinner. Uh, Fuck, what have I done? Oh, I basically spritzed gold paint all over my keyboard. It looks like a Jackson Pollock right now. Full Fleet, we call it the pizza box. Yeah, Star Destroyers are the missing part of the pie chart, and not a very good missing part either. Okay, like I could hate all day long on Star Wars. Like I know it's all an allegory for World War II and the Vietnam War, but like goddamn, George Lucas is not subtle, um, in the least in his messaging. I think the thing I hate the most about Star Wars, well, is all the Imperial equipment for starters. It's all oh easy, Tony. You shouldn't be needing your freaking beta blockers. Just calm down. I'm kidding, of course. Tau Gundams. So yeah, like it makes sense that Tau would design their mech walkers that way, and they would design them for long range combat or fast in hit and run. Because as fast as the Astartes are, the guardsmen aren't that fast, and the Tau do most of their battling against the guard and the Inquisition. You know, whatever freaking Inquisitor's got a horseshoe up his ass about the Damocles Gulf this time. Besides, I got a feeling I'm going to wind up using a lot of the Damocles Gulf stuff for the tactical battles that are coming up for videos. Well, how do I even respond to that? Galactic Imperial Doctrine, 7,000 for a ship. So I'm assuming a legion of stormtroopers is somewhere between 3 and 5,000. Because if a legion of stormtroopers between 3 and 5,000, 7,000 on a ship makes sense. I have not finished watching the Transformer video yet. I have started watching it. I have not finished watching it. Most of my off time has been taking up doing research on all of that stuff for the upcoming video. You guys are going to enjoy the shit out of it, trust me. And I got a feeling it is going to be one of those videos that either the 40K community really loves, or I am going to watch my subscriber count drop faster than, well, I really don't know what, but who the F knows. What do I think so far? I think I'm going to have to relegate them to a tactical battle. I'm not seeing the scale with them that's going to be able to put up a fight against the 40K. In fact, quite a few of my 40k videos coming up are probably going to have to be Necron videos because the factions I'm picking are so ungodly strong. But I think the Tau could probably wipe the floor with the Transformers universe, to be honest with you. Tau would probably stand the best chance because they would see the threat for what it is off the hop and immediately go to town, well, breaking them as fast as they can. But it's going to be a tactical video. Wish they would bring back the Necron. That's just the ship's crew, not the regiment they carry. Huh. Well, for, you know, a 1.3 to 1.9 kilometer long ship, you know, that's roughly, you know what? It makes sense because a lot of their shit is so ungodly inefficient. Like for a supposedly tactically advanced, not tactically advanced, a technologically advanced empire as the Galactic Empire wants to be, they are woefully, woefully, like technologically backwards in comparison to a lot of what is visible in Star Wars canon. Oh, time for one of these. Time for two of these, actually. The headcanon thing on the Dreadnought. Well, yeah, if you base an empire or anything like that off of, you know, that kind of nonsense, you're going to quickly eat yourself from the inside out. Any organization that promotes self-interest over the interest of the whole is quickly going to find itself stacked by people that don't have the best interest at heart for said empire. Okay. Wonder if I should try and glue one of these thigh pads on now. Where's my picture? Let's see. Okay, so they go on the belt. Good. I can't possibly fuck this up, he said before fucking it up. All right. Set that there. Ooh, my phone's buzzing at me. All right, let's try and do this without losing it. I need that out of the way. Ah, spilling things. I'm terrible at this. What have I done? Need my reference picture. No, I can't throw this. I need that for later. On the Imperium of Man, what is my head canon? Well, I really don't have a whole lot of headcanon for uh, like that I remember offhand. Like I've got headcanon for certain things and the way certain things are done in the Imperium, just based on my own understanding of what I read in their books. But like I really do like I'm I'm not one of those guys that's super set in canon. Like I understand that stories change over time and things evolve. Like case in point, the Necrons. My thoughts on military tactics of the Tau. Um, the Tau are extremely tactically minded. However, they overestimate the safety of their range advantage. I think they forget how fast the other races can close the distance on them. That they are on par one of the slowest races. Tyranids is always going to be a goddamn province. Like that's going to be one of those things that they're yeah, that's going to get milked for as long as the franchise exists. But again, the military tactics of the Tau vastly overestimate their range advantage because all of the races are so much faster than them. The Astartes move at ridiculous speed. Guardsmen are twice, three times as fast as a freaking standard Tau infantryman. Um, the Eldari and the freaking Drukari are you can't even see them like in comparison. Like they're young and they're naive. And I think once they get their nose bloodied a few more times, we're gonna see them harden up a lot more. I thought the Harlequins, like my Eldar knowledge lore is really limited, but I thought the Eldar Harlequins were a almost like an anti-hero faction. They hated the Drukari. Yeah, the reason that I say that they overestimate their ranged advantage is because they also don't fall back in very good order. They're used to parking themselves at a distance and trying to jump in and jump back out. But if they were to, you know, advance steadily forward and then jump back, advance steadily forward and jump back, not try to keep poking at them with their uh, badly timed hit and run tactics. Oh, I know the story of when they met the Dark Eldar. Yeah, the cultural freaking exchange people that got turned into the grotesques, and then they went and cleansed an entire freaking Tau world. They stole everyone. Yeah, never trust a Drukari, ever. I know I wouldn't. I've seen too many Hellraiser movies to trust anyone in that much revealing leather, especially holding a barbed whip. Like they look like bad goth drawings from the early '90s comic golden age era. That's what they look like. Absolutely ridiculous in every way, shape, or form. Keep forgetting that this camera is freaking over here. What am I doing? There we go. Just violating all the rules on this stream. Alright. Now that that coat is on there, I'm going to let those dry one last time before I cut them. And then try to glue them onto the belt, because that's going to be interesting. At this point, I give up. I have turned my freaking. Looks like Elton John sneezed on my fucking keyboard. Just gold glitter everywhere. Yeah, I've seen all the memes. What is it? Idiot of the East Coast, who makes those funny Eldar girlfriend freaking comics. I love them. They're freaking hilarious. Yeah, here's the thing though with the Kroot and the Vespid. They don't trust them as far as they can throw them. Yeah, the greater good, but historically, no one trusts, uh, for lack of a better term, slaves or vassals that that you arm and train to fight. Like historical context, the Roman legions. You know, the bulk of their fighting force is made up of auxiliaries. Oh, shit. That's what my phone is buzzing. Getting comments. Really should turn off the comments to my phone when I'm doing this because it keeps distracting me. Keeps lighting up. I shouldn't be such a ditzy Doug, but I have my moments. You know what? I'm done painting gold for now. I want to paint another color. Oh, and everyone, say hi to Tank Cat. Oh shit, there we go. That's Beth. She's the Tank Cat. The inspiration for the Tank anime logo, as it were. She accompanies me on all my YouTubing adventures because she's awesome and a big suck. Dog. Kroot and Vespids are not equals. Those old tile lore that use the hypnosis. Yeah, that was the ethereal cast or whatever they're called. Okay. Feeling it, guardsman. Oh. Okay. Fire engine red. Let's light this up. That's a lot of red. Use a little bit of thinner. Oh, I keep hearing things. At least I think I am. Am I going paranoid? Maybe. No, I hear it. Poor boy. Stir this up. Alright, let's stir that up, and then we are going to add deep red. Nope. Where is it? Dark red flash. Alright, let's try this. This is going to add a little iridescent sheen. Okay, mix that up. Just gonna add the iridescence. And one last color that I'm gonna need. Metallic red. Because I really want this to pop. Okay. Let's see. Actually, here I'm just going to turn my mic up a bit so I can speak a bit softer. Alright. That should pick up a little better if I can speak softer. Alright. There we go. Yeah, we'll just go with that. Alright. Let's see here. What's that say? Big E caused the Men of Iron Rebellion. I don't think he did, no. I don't think he caused it at all. I think he probably helped mitigate a bit of the damage from it, but I don't think he caused it overall. The old lore, so many retcons. The fanfic community. You know what? As much as I love the Warhammer community, and I do love them, there are certain people that just don't understand that it's just overall it's just a game. Like, yeah, we care about the lore and we're really passionate about it, but you know, not everything has to make perfect sense all the time. Things can change like over time, and I really wish people would remember that in the end, that overall this is just a game. Like, when my kids start getting more interested in this, you know, I don't want them to get discouraged because, you know, they don't, or they wind up liking something that's not as popular. Fanboys think the internet can beat this. No. For all intents and purposes, the Zeeli are the single most powerful um, alien species, I guess you could say, in all of science fiction. Hands down, no bar. Like, there's no other faction that could beat them. Like, they literally have, like, not only galactic scale engineering, but like super galactic engineering, because like breaking the cosmic chains between galaxies and whatnot. Here's the thing, Leek. I think the Big E could have been whoever the fuck he wanted through history, because he could literally change his appearance on a whim. Like, in lore, he's said to have been Jesus Christ, which is freaking hilarious. Like, I've. Oof, those gummies are starting to kick in. credit ships of Star Wars. Like the machine ships? Oh. I really need to get to the optometrist. That or I really need to make the font on this chat section bigger. Chaos can infect machines. Uh, Chaos can influence machines, but it can't outright infect them. It's a lot more nuanced and complicated than that, at least from my understanding. Because even the Iron Warriors, like, have to bind them. Ships that carry money. I wouldn't even know where to approach that question. I know that if I came across one of those ships, I would blow it in half and then teach my crew how to lift with their back. Crime can be fun. I in no way endorse that message. Men of Iron had Rogel Dorn levels of no to Chaos. I think the Men of Iron had their own reasons to rebel. And Chaos may have been a contributing factor, but only after the initial rebellion had begun. Because realistically, Chaos isn't interested in creatures that aren't sapient. Like there's no real emotion outside of instinct, and that's not sustenance to them, at least as my understanding of it. So they want, like, I feel like after the Men of Iron became sapient and aware of their situation and then rebelled, then Chaos would be able to influence them because now there's emotion involved. The machines have emotion. Because, like, when you create a super intelligent machine, like, for all intents and purposes, artificial intelligence, eventually it will become self aware. It's just, it's not an if, it's a when. And when it does, I hope we have the good grace to treat them with dignity, because we literally have entire movie and book franchises on why it's a bad idea to treat them poorly. Because we get our shit pushed in all of those. And I don't know if you've seen John Connor lately, but he's taken less to lifting shotgun shells and more to lifting hoagies. That was terribly. That was a terrible joke. Probably aged myself a whole lot with that too. Unless you guys have seen what freaking. Oh, what's that guy's name that played John Connor in T2? Oh, that kid. Man, did Hollywood screw him up. Oh man, I hope this iridescent really pops on this. Because this is baller. It looks absolutely freaking beautiful wet. Okay, I'm going to dab that on there because I didn't prime this one. And I've got to green fill the gaps. This is the figurine that fell down last week and broke. I had to glue it back together, and it broke in a way that the glue seam didn't quite take. So now I gotta fill it with green paste. Oh yeah, that was Animatrix. That was the one you're thinking of, the Second Renaissance Part 1 and 2. Part 1 where basically shows us being as big a dicks as humanly possible to the machines, and the machines turning around and pushing our shit in the minute they've decided they've had enough of our bullshit. And who can blame them? We were horrible to them in that. Like, legitimately horrible. Like, holy crap. Like, those guys were just mega tanks running them over, dropping non-stop nukes on them. No wonder they hated us. I think next Friday for the live stream, I'm gonna get a couple of those THC drinks. Uh, the store local to me has got them in stock. The cherry cola. Oh, it's so good. Um, I don't know if you guys remember Jolt Cola from back in the early 2000s and 90s, but it tastes exactly like that. Yeah, that's another thing. Is would the Emperor be able to fool like an actual artificial intelligence with his psychic powers? Would they be able to do? Would he be able to do it? I don't know. That's an interesting philosophical question. I should definitely post it to the Warhammer community to see how fast I get my ass banned. Who am I kidding? They wouldn't ban me. The Bigfoot pizza from Pizza Hut. Oh. Okay. Now, me growing up, I had 3 channels on TV. There was one Pizza Hut within freaking 15 miles of my place, and it was basically you got dressed up in your Sunday best to go there because it was the fancy Pizza Hut with the buffets. And me being a broke ass farm boy growing up, we did not get to go out there often. But I also remember that absolutely horrendous, horrible McDonald's pizza. That was atrocious. Like, oh, I can feel the texture of the ground beef nuggets that were on that thing. I would swear to God, those ground beef nuggets were just hacked up uh, beef patties from the freaking leftovers of yesterday. Just hacked up and poured on there with some really bad tasting pepperoni, and it it tastes like that Delicious bullshit. Oh, easy, Tony, easy. Calm down. The pizza can't hurt you. The pizza can't hurt you. Alright, set that aside for a second. Uh, I should try to paint some. Where's my white? White. Gotta start painting the purity seals on my standard. A little bit of white. A little bit of thinner. And a mix and stick. Whew. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record tomorrow, but I'm going to be going to ThunderCon here where I live. That is an interesting noise for a plane. Anyway, where was I? Right. Yeah, I'm gonna be taking my kids to ThunderCon tomorrow, so that should be fun. Going to go see what they got there. It has been a while since I've got to go to a con, and I think this is going to be a good opportunity to absolutely blow my daughter's mind once she sees, because she loves. So once she sees some of those cosplayers, she's going to like lose her mind. Hey man, I wouldn't have put it past the Big E to have a doctorate in freaking computer engineering 10 times over. The guy's been around the block. Like, I'm just wondering, would he be able to fool, like, um, what's the word I'm looking here for? Not like an AI, but like, I guess you'd say advanced sensors. I don't know. I'm just ruminating like an idiot because I am quickly becoming way too baked to be talking. I do not often get to partake in the gummies, and these ones are particularly good. Much more of a vape guy myself. Star Wars is in fact the worst vehicles in all of fiction. No need to fight you on that. I I'll I'll back you that I will die on that hill in front of any freaking YouTuber, any fanboy, anything when it comes to Star Wars. That they have the worst vehicles in fiction. Period. Hands down. End of discussion. Ha ha. Or if you're French, ha ha ha. That's for my white brush. I need to dust on some more gold. Well, then I guess that answers that question. Perfect. Oh man, these guys are going to be shiny. Halo comes second. Hmm. I know there's one that's worse than Halo, but something in my head is just not putting it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot think about it. I don't know why. I'm brain crippled. Absolutely crippled. Oh, there was a lot of desperation in Halo. I think what annoys me the most about Halo it um, seemed they were limited by what they could do with the first game, and I get that, but they got subsequently very lazy later on when they had every chance to improve everything and make it a lot better, make it a lot cooler, make it make a lot more sense, and they didn't. They just shit the bed all over the place. But that is my own personal opinion because I am an absolute that's my tism is bad sci-fi. That's my tism. When I see Warhammer vehicles, I think I think about those kids that we used to be, where we would like mash up all of our stuff, like all of our World War I and II toys together and make them shoot laser beams, stuff like that. Like I think those kids in the late '70s who grew up into the '80s, those kids, I would have been one of those kids that would have probably done that for sure. Because I grew up with a lot of plastic freaking army toys. Mm, G.I. Joe is lower on my list. Probably around maybe number 5 because everything that they do is themed and they get a lot of bonus points for that. Because no matter how much ridiculous it looks, like everything is snake themed or America themed. I don't know that the Flood could hijack the Astartes. I don't know that it would be possible. I don't I honestly think that the Astartes body might actually be too hostile an environment for like Halo like infection forms to take them over. Like at least with the Tyranids it makes sense because they digest the entire body and like absorb the DNA. And unless you're plowing everything into a grave mind, like I I I don't honestly think that they could take over an Astartes. But that's my own personal like opinion. Like yeah, the Astartes have a nervous system, but like look how fast Cortana adapted the um, Spartan 2 armor to basically fuck the infection forms off. Like it's not gonna take basically a space marine, which are already super autists, to figure that out. You know, so I don't think it's gonna be one of the things that happens. And if they see a flood form going down, I do believe that like if it manages to grab on and tries to dig in, and somehow manages to pierce this or the Space Marine's armor, that his reaction time is still going to be fast enough to crush the infection form. Like, I think it would take a significant amount of things going in the Flood's favor for them to be able to take over a Space Marine body. Standard Guardsman, hell yeah. Sister of Battle, yeah, because they are still more human than transhuman. Custodes, not a chance in hell. Uh, Again, they're I think their body would be just too hostile in an environment given all of the gene forging that's going on. But God help us once they started grabbing human psychers. That would be just an unrivaled nightmare. All right. Let's try and glue some of this thigh armor on. Okay, so which one of these is my shield captain? That is this bad boy right here. Fantastic. Looking good. What belt is he wearing? Squid belt. Which one of these thigh armors is the squid thigh armor? Here we go. Probably should cut this off, but I am an idiot. Alright, one down, two down. Okay. Alright. Where is... A little bit of wire. This is a little trick I saw on the YouTubes to put glue on really small spots on your figurines. Alright. A little bit of glue. Okay. Oh, moment of truth. Can I do it? Can I do it? Let's move the camera into view so you can see what I'm doing here. Alright. Come on. Hey, I got one on. I don't entirely suck. Crisis Suit gives you a little bit more flexibility. That and you don't have to be a superhuman monster to pilot it. You can be a regular dumbass monster like me and pilot it. Alright. Let's get a little bit more glue on there and glue his next thigh plate on. Did I grab the wrong end? Because my finger feels like it's stuck to it now. Excellent. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Nailed it. At least I think I did. You know what looks good enough to me? mm. StarCraft Power Armor. What do I think of Mass Effect? Mass Effect is very fun. Mass Effect is very fun. I really loved playing Mass Effect. But I think the whole technology bottleneck thing on that, and the Reapers, like, I just don't buy that supposedly advanced spacefaring civilizations find this stuff and don't question where it comes from and maybe try to figure that out. That's just me. StarCraft Power Armor, better. Yes and no. It's just a cleaner, more industrial version. Mass produced, and you can run Astartes weaponry. Mechanicum. Mako. You're gonna Mako tank. What's Mako tank from? That should sound familiar, but it's not ringing too many bells. I may not be a smart man, but I don't know what that tank is. That's my best Forrest Gump. That movie was remarkably depressing. Uh, Need a little bit more red on these. I think that guy's gonna need some more red too. Let's do some metallic red highlights on this. Reapers are not friends. Why do they plead mercy when we have a... The Reapers are a race who are in love with their own legend. Um, they're an enemy that has succeeded so many times that they are complacent. Like, and complacency makes you stupid and makes you very easy to beat, at least strategically. Tactically, maybe not. You may lose every tactical engagement, but you can still win strategically overall, especially against an army like the Reapers. Yeah. And we are going to add a little bit of dark red flash. Just a bit. Just enough to make it pop. Tankies and... Oh, Mass Effect 1. Oh, that thing. That's an APC. I'm sorry. That's an APC. That's not a tank. Um, and for an APC, you know what? It makes a lot of goddamn sense. Because you could drop it down and it's got thrusters underneath that you can use the zero effect from this element zero to make its mass essentially as light or as heavy as you want. Reducing inertia. Like, their science was very well thought out based around this element, which was really nice to see. And the repeating cannon is awesome, but tank it is not. It doesn't have enough fire, like it doesn't have enough direct fire power to be a tank. Actually, funny thing, I got into an argument today with a bunch of people on the internet about replicators, actually, because the big argument is why can't replicators make certain things like gold pressed latinum, phasers, and other things like that. It, simple, man. I just stuck my finger in the red paint. Oh, I'm having a day. Long story short, I figured that they were hardwired to not produce anything that's because you think about it, that there's two type of replicators in Star Trek. There's personal or like human replicators, like replicators that make stuff for humans, and then they've got industrial replicators, which they use to make larger things like starship hulls, plates, parts, stuff like that. Now, the reason that they don't make these, uh, that they, I like, at least in my opinion, why they wouldn't do this is they hardwire them to make something that couldn't possibly explode by accident when producing it. Like, because no matter how safe you make a munition, there's always the chance that ordnance could just go off for the sake of it. Like, that's why there's like so many safety interlocks on a nuclear weapon, because fuck if you just fuck around and leave it with, say, just a timer on it, it's not going to take much for a corroded wire to cross, and boom, we all dead. But I think they intentionally make them so that you can't make things that could realistically explode or cause harm. Uh, at least for the personal ones. The industrial ones, they've probably overridden safeguards in times of war, like what they did during the Dominion War. But I think that for overall, especially given the Star Trek universe's um, public-facing aversion to war, because deep down I do believe the Federation and Starfleet loves to fight, and they're very good at it in a lot of their canon. But they built themselves up so long as an explorer force that they can't outwardly claim it. But for all intents and purposes, Starfleet is a military. We got mystery meat MREs. Oh, you mean our corpse starch MREs? Even in death, I am served. um, do I think the Tau would be able to use element 0? Uh, Given the Tau's technological ability, like, to reverse engineer shit, or at least advance through their own tech tree, I do believe that they could probably figure out element 0 if it were in universe, but ultimately I don't think that they would have the time to experiment with it as much as they would please. Oh, I've got entire videos on why Star Trek's ground game sucks ass. Like, I should really do another video on why their ground game sucks ass. I spent probably close to 25 minutes ripping apart the Federation's atrocious land campaign during the Dominion War. 90 million dead. Jesus. Or sorry, 900 million dead. Like, just absolutely atrocious. Civilian casualties, that is. Again, I don't think the replicators on those ships could possibly make those weapons, only because they do, again, rely on um, explosive components. And those explosive components, I believe, can't be produced inside a replicator. Like, at least as they stand in on starships, because those would be personal human-sized replicators, and they would be hardwired and limited into what they could do. It's like, just think about a standard warship. If you had a standard warship, um, like up to date, and you had replicator technology, would you have it be able to make guns and stuff like that and put it all over a warship? You wouldn't. You would only put it in one spot, like the galley or the mess, and you would program it to make shitty food that's all boiled anyway, despite it being a replicator. Because that how the Army does. I don't know about the Navy. I've never been in the Navy. But no, I don't believe they would, because that would break every rule in security. Um, you got to remember that even with like projectile weaponry, it may take them a few more. Um, it would probably take them a few more drones to figure out how to stop it, because they've been so used to getting, you know, raked around the coals with energy weapons. But I don't believe it would take the Borg long to figure out how to adapt to um, chemical and projectile weapons. It would just take, say 30 or 40 Borg versus, two or three. I really do think that I really do think that they would adapt to projectile weaponry, and quickly, a lot quicker than most people would give them credit for. Because you look at the whole point behind quantum torpedoes, it's to put the torpedo into a state of what is it, quantum like superposition, so it's just slightly out of phase with time until its sensors detect its target and detonate. But for all intents and purposes, it's still technically a standard um, photon style torpedo. It's still an antimatter charge. It just has that special temporal fuckery with it, which gives it that quantum name. Still cool, but not not exactly the best to be bringing to the fight. Like, I'm sure if you had a big enough railgun, like say the planetary defense railguns in the Expanse, if you fired a couple of those, like say a couple dozen of those, or even say a Supermac from Halo, you might be able to get off one or two ship killing shots before they manage to adapt. And then you've got just a very, very expensive light show. Like the Borg, I think it'd be just how fast could you escalate uh, abuse on them. Like, if you can destroy entire cubes before they have a chance to adapt, I think you could keep winning that way. But you would have to like just keep using insane amounts of power. Tally from Mass Effect. If it's Tally from Mass Effect, uh, that's the girl with the mask, right? Oh, I'm gonna get crucified in the comments for not knowing that. But remember, I am partaking. Oh yeah, definitely partaking. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If you're asking what I think you're asking, it's the girl with the mask in Mass Effect. Yes. If it's the blue chick with the funny dreadnoughts, um, yes and no. Like that one's weird, because technically, like, I guess you would have to default to her customs, and then it would be definitely weird. Yeah, definitely not the blue chick, the purple chick from Mass Effect for sure. Uh, the short one with all the tattoos. Um, she's funny, but I don't know. Not my particular favorite character. My favorite character is fucking around with the Krogan. He makes me freaking laugh. Okay. Yeah, let's give her a little bit more white. Getting there with the white. Get that back a bit. Am I going to be able to put Gothic script on this? Probably not. But it'll definitely get a couple of little black lines. Getting close to where I just have to do little dabs and touches to fill in gaps. Yeah. I feel like a professional when I do it like this. The only thing I am is professional time waster. Me sitting here painting my toys, having a great time chatting with the fans. Oh yeah. Comic sake, if you're still on here, man. If I ever manage to get my hands on those crypto douches that manage to hack my freaking Discord account, I'm going to firmly kick their balls straight up through their fucking ears. And that's a check they can take to the bank. I will fuck them in the ass with a barbed wire dildo. I will drop my paintbrush on the ground. I think the Imperium would also be able to, like, if the Imperium found its way. What upgrades do you get with the Custodes? They basically just got. They're worth a lot more points than freaking. Where did I put the book? Oh man, you got me trying to think of rules when I'm baked. Oh shit. Let's see here. Oh, special moves, special. Yeah, I've got 3 wardens, 1 shield captain, and a praetor. And I do believe I actually have to skip. Ooh, I had weed tucked away in there. Go me. Let's see. Did they put the instructions on the back here? Oh. I have to go to the frickin' Warhammer thing and download the frickin' cards for it. Oh, hell. I missed the days when all that stuff came in. I need to get a frickin' new codex. One, two, let's see. The all have guardian spears and power blades. Yeah, they've all got guardian spears and power blades, with the exception of the Vexillus, which has the standard, which gives boosts and a guardian spear, but no power blade. Halo versus 40k video. Which faction in Halo? Because I just did the Covenant. And if you're thinking the Forerunners or Ancient Humans, that's not even a fair fight, because both of those are leagues more advanced than the Imperium. Well, it depends if the mechanicus can get over their innate ability to mistrust any technology they come across that isn't, their own, even if it was human designed. Ooh, that has got some deep purple shine to it now. A light coat of red, and we should be golden with those tabards. Like a super, super light coat. 1 to 5 ought to do it. Mass Effect in the Tau. If they manage to actually use it, I don't believe that they would actually manage to build the mass relays. I don't think that they would figure that out because none of the other races have figured out how to build them. Even in their own universe, they just know how to turn them on and off. So I'm going to chalk that up to its, probably a billion more years advanced than any one of them are used to in terms of technology. So I don't see them being able to build one, but I see them being able to use it to make their own ships, potentially have like a standard FTL by making them inertialess with the element 0. But I could be just talking out of my arse also. Am I thinning my paints? You better believe I am thinning the shit out of my paints. I just mixed my paints 4 to 1. 1 part paint, 4 parts thinner. The problem is I am partially colorblind, and when it comes to painting, I've got no skill in it. My oldest daughter is an extremely talented painter, but she might not get that from me. I'm much better in black and white. I do really well with black and white art. Used to sketch a lot when I was younger. Wish I had the time to do it now, but only so many times to do so many hobbies. The Tau, I think, Tau have both plasma and rail weaponry. If they could upgrade their weaponry, I think the Tau would do probably overall fairly well against anything except the entire Reaper fleet if it were combined. Like, say, at the end of like the Battle for Earth. If they were facing that fleet, I think they might get overwhelmed. Only because, again, their ships are designed to fight from range, and the Reapers are more, we're gonna grab your ship and, probe you. Big emphasis on the probe you with that metal beam of theirs, which essentially is freaking superheated molten metal being fired at near the speed of light. Which, oddly enough, is one of the few franchises that actually gives you a yield per second when it comes to their weaponry, which is actually extremely rare in sci-fi. Oh yeah, these are gonna look so good, or they are gonna look super purple. At least I think it's purple. Purple is one of those colors I've got trouble seeing. A lot of blues, purples, some greens. Aw, sweet girl. Sweet girl's just sleeping away on the chair. Destiny. I never played Destiny. The yield per shot for the Reaper cannon is 250 kilotons per second. So a quarter megaton per second. But the Reaper's strength lies in indoctrination anyway. Honestly, if they rolled into the 40k universe, um, and they played their cards right, and just drifted through shitting their technology on a bunch of planets, and then turned around and came back, uh, they would effectively probably just win through subversion alone. However, if they just wanted to go head to head and fight, um, the Reapers are going to get arse raped because ultimately each one of their ships is still a giant mind, with a consciousness, and 40k has got way too many psychers for something like that to be a problem. All they've got to do is get a, hell, if they threw a frickin' Sister of Silence or a Kilexis Assassin inside, a single Reaper, the null presence alone is probably going to make the thing want to just cave in on itself. Well, I'm not going to lie there, my dude, that if I get a chance to play Destiny 1, I will give it a try, but for the most part, I'm probably going to stick to Skyrim, because right now in Skyrim I am doing a all, what is it, punching only. Punching only. I am a lizard that punches things, and it's hilarious. Yeah, like that's what I'm talking about with the blanks. Is those Culexus assassins are the blanks? They're the ones that they send after the psychers. But yeah, like you wouldn't even need even a really powerful psyker to screw up a freaking Reaper. You know, just toss a freaking astronavigator in there. You know, tortured psyker just screaming his mind out inside his little pod, beam it inside, and watch the Reaper just lose his shit. M109 is a fine machine for its time. It's still a good machine that serves a purpose. Um, but honestly, there are better mobile artillery systems, more advanced mobile artillery systems now that are much faster than the 109. So I think it's firmly middle of the road, but the heavy self-propelled artillery I think is going to be a thing of the past. You're going to see a lot more mobile, fast, um, medium range artillery. Let's see, Skyrim Nords or horse armor. No, I play Argonian or Khajiit, and I do things weird because look at me. I'm a weird guy. At least in how I do things for science fiction and fantasy. Only because who wants to be boring? I don't like being boring. I gotta throw more mods on my Skyrim though. Problem is though, is if I start adding mods to it, aside from just more mission mods and more dungeon mods, I'll spend too much time picking which extra booster mods or fuck around mods, like, and not playing the game, and before I know it I've wasted an hour and a half and I haven't even started yet, which just doesn't help anyone. I think next time I'm gonna move the paint camera to right up over top of my painting mat, because I believe I can mount it directly to the back of my second monitor. Because I keep forgetting that it's there and not the other one to my left. And I keep just slowly drifting over there and out of the paint picture. I feel like a dick. Okay. Let's add some thigh plates onto these guys. Well, not him. He needs more brass. This guy's definitely ready to go. He has got the star. Where is my plates? You know what? They're all fucking different. So, F it. Let's just, none of them are star. Oh, fuck me. That's the shield captain. I'm an idiot. What races in Mass Effect would join the Tau Empire? Hmm. Hmm. Cyborg from the future in Skyrim. How he tells with a passion. UNSC found during the 2400s. The USC found during the 2400s, they would immediately turn it into a freaking goddamn tourist world. Do you have any idea how fast the freaking people in the colonies would lose their goddamn mind the minute they found out there was a real RPG world? Like, humanity would collectively shit itself. There's still weebs and whatnot in freaking the 2400s in Halo. And for what Turians for sure, because the Turians have a strong martial culture. Um, the Asari would not. The Krogan probably would if the Tau unfucked their whole breeding crisis thing. I could see that definitely being, in there. Quarians, probably. And the Volus. Volus. That's those, the Volus, the crab people, right? Or are they the slug looking ones? But what do I know what I'm talking about? Okay, so this one is the Shield Captains. That one's the Vexilius Praetor. Okay, now I'm back on track. I was working on the Praetor, now I'm working on the Shield Captain. So now I gotta glue thigh pads to Shield Captain. Good thing I'm not doing this like all in one freaking sitting. I am, stretching this out over days. Because if I had to do this like all right away, I'd lose my goddamn mind. And not for the reason you think. Just glue that to my table, no big deal. But USC getting nerd magic. Oh, they're the short, fat mask guys. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. I'm gonna see getting Nerd Magic. Yeah, it would be fun, but you got to keep in mind that the humans in Halo are pretty much like us now. So could you imagine a bunch of freaking dumbass space cowboys with freaking magic? There would be it would be an absolute freaking train wreck, and everyone would love it. I know I would. But setting the Covenant on fire would be hilarious. Oh, this is why I suck at this. Come on, get on there. Nope, straight up and down, just like I wanted. There we go. Okay, that's on. Oh, equal unpaid labor necromancy. I would just widen the Lehman Russ out and knock it down in height. For as much as you widen it out, knock it down that much in height, and the Lehman Russ would be a much better tank. But right now, it's all about the Lehman Russ tank. Or not the Lehman Russ, the Rokel Dorn. It's got nipple guns. Nipple guns. Who puts nipple guns on a tank? The Mechanicus. I'm sure it's a feature, not a bug. Okay, so this one, this one, this one, and this one. Set that over there. Necromancy would scare the shit out of the Covenant for sure. There's no disputing that. Sorry, I'm being quiet during this part right here. I am just. Oh. I might be an idiot. Did you guys see your comment about. Which one? The short, fat mask guys? Ooh. Definitely shit the bed on this one. Oh well. Not my worst one. Not my best one either, but it's not my worst one. Batarian. Batarians are the slugs? Oh, I am. I am losing it. I'm not sure if your comment even showed up, buddy. I am sorry. Could you ask it again, please? I've got too much ultramarine blue all over this from the ultramarines I've been painting forever. Blueberry boys. Because blue is the easiest color for me to see. Most hated race in Mass Effect. Yeah, they'd be super angry about that. They're pretty particular about how their dead are handled. At least according to lore. Sabbatarians are the most hated race in Mass Effect. Okay, yeah. Alright, sorry guys. My chat backed up there for a few seconds and now everything is coming up, sorry. Yeah, no. Batarians would not join. The Batarians are assholes. Um, they're the ones that are responsible for the phage, right? That fucked up the Krogan. Ultramarine is kind of overused at this point. Ultramarine is overused, but I just like them because, as much as they're overused, they are the most flexible. Um, like they are the most flexible Astartes I can use on the tabletop. In terms of if someone comes in with a meta list, I know I can swap a lot of my. I can either really pump up the heavy in my Ultramarines, or if they came light with a lot of guard, I would go down to tactical so I can move and shoot a lot more and keep them at a bit more range and keep them pinned. But like that's my own personal reason for liking them. Other people have got their own reasons for liking and or hating them. And personally, if I could choose, I really couldn't. If I had the money, I would have every freaking Legion because I'd love to be able to just have like my own squad of white scars and well, not the Iron Hands. Fuck the Iron Hands. Um, Iron Warriors, Fists, Templars. G-dubs give you more Ferris Manus sons. You know what? Unfuck the Iron War or the Iron Hands or on the tabletop first, then give them better fucking units. Element Zero is just that particular universe's MacGuffin. It's the lithium in Star Trek, Kyber crystal in freaking Star Wars, the Epstein drive, the poorly named Epstein drive in the Expanse. They're really gonna want to change that name. um, it's just every other faction is and science fiction universe has got their mystery element that or exotic matter to do faster than light travel. Um, I'm thinking, where did I put that metal stick I was using to put glue? Oh no. I officially might have hit too baked. Yeah. We've officially hit level 5. And I was supposed to be a Templar raging. I thought Angron was supposed to be um, Knights Hospitaller, not Templars. They were because Angron's original ability was like he could take the pain of others into himself because he had like super empathy. but the butcher's nails completely overrode it. He was supposed to be like, he was supposed to represent the emperor's compassion, which is why the emperor was so turbo pissed that he had let himself get nails rammed into his skull. Oh, the UNSC tech question. What would I change? I would change quite a bit about the UNSC tech. I would start by figuring out how to deflect plasma technology at a freaking infantryman's level, because that's where they got butt fucked most of the time. Because once you figure that out, then you can up it to your ships. You know, either you get on the shield situation, or you figure out how to cover your ship in freaking liquid quartz. Or, you know, proper ablative armor. As for their weapons, oh, dick's on fire. Oh, thank God it was just the stand. I would change absolutely every one of their freaking handheld freaking firearms. I would get rid of this 500 different types of freaking gun that they've got going on. Knock it down to, you know, 3 or 4. I would get rid of the Warthog entirely. It is just the hands down second worst vehicle in the series, following the Scorpion, because I will die on the hill that the Scorpion is the worst designed tank in all of science fiction history. And man, oh man, do the Halo freaking chuds love screaming at me in the comments about that. How Element Zero is handled. Then you're gonna have to be a little bit more specific, bro, because I am not that deep into the lore where I know how it is handled. Yeah, Angron is definitely the most tragic of all the Primarchs. I will give him that. And it sucks to be him, but Big E had it coming. When it come to Angron saying "fuck you" and joining the rebellion, because all he had to do was turn his freaking Custodes around and say to the leaders of that planet, New Syria, I'm sorry, this is what you did to my son, and proceed to ram Guardian Spear up ass and pull trigger. As you do. But no, the Emperor decided to just beam Angron out in the middle of a hissy fit. Doesn't explain anything to him, which I think was the Emperor's biggest failing. If he had just taken 5 seconds to go, listen, this is why. He probably could have preempted a lot of that rebellion bullshit, and Lorgar would have just been stuck there holding the bag. And as always, fuck Erebus. Seriously, fuck Erebus. That guy was a dick. Okay. So I've got thigh pads painted up. All the bodies painted. Arms are painted. I think next week we'll be doing a lot of assembling. No bullpups. Yeah, fuck bullpups. I hate bullpups with a passion. I have fired dozens of different types of bullpups. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I fired bullpup shotguns, bullpup rifles, bullpup. I've even fired bullpup conversion kits. They are ergonomic nightmares, overcomplicated, and they don't do anything to increase your ability to do CQB any better than a short barreled rifle. A short barreled standard rifle, mag in front, standard configuration is much better. On top of that, it's a lot easier for lefties to handle because outside of a few particular bullpups, most of them only have the ejection port coming out the right hand side. So if you got to switch over to left because you're a lefty shooter, you're catching shells in your face all day long. Anyways, guys, I am going to bow out tonight because it is getting late here. I want to wrap things up because I got a fun day of going to the con tomorrow with the kids and the wife, and that should be a great time. We will do live streams every Friday night. We're going to start at 9:30 next week because my kid was a little bit later up than usual, and I wanted to put him to sleep, but I didn't get a chance to tonight. Things happen. Anyway, not anybody's fault. We're parents, we handle it. But as always, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thanks for having a great conversation with me, and I will see you all next Friday. Peace.